All right, here we go. So we are finding the slope of the curve through that x value. The first one, we're doing the limit as h approaches 0 setup. So let's see how that works. The first thing it says here, we're finding the limit as h approaches 0. F of x plus h. So when it says f of x plus h, Tyler, what does that mean I'm doing here? Good. He's taking this and he's plugging it in to this equation. Okay, so it's going to look like this. I'm going to color code this a little bit. Negative 2 squared plus 3 plus 9. There's his setup there. He said anywhere we have an x, we're plugging in x plus h. That's this. This is all we've done so far is that. Then it says minus f of x. So when I do minus f of x, Mason, what do I got to make sure I do here? Parentheses. It's minus f of x, and she's going to fill in this for everywhere for f of x. So it's going to say 2x squared plus 3x plus 9. I need something? Oh, negative in front of the 2. Sorry. Thank you. There's that. This thing is all over h. There's my initial setup. Once I've done that, okay, I'm going to start doing this problem here. Okay, so I'm going to do some simplifying. Joel, what could I do with this first part? X plus h times x plus h. It's foiling it out. Okay, if you're not sure, go to the side and take x plus h times x plus h and see what you get. It is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared times negative 2. Okay, plus, we can FOIL this out, 3x plus 3h plus 9. Distribute the negative to all of these things, so minus 2x squared. It's really plus because it's minus a negative. Minus 3x minus 9 all over h. It's just annoying more than anything. Now I'm taking this exact same thing, okay, and all I'm going to do here is distribute out. Oh, boo. Let me try that again. I really don't want to write it again. Taking this whole thing, group it. All right, sorry, being super lazy. We're taking this thing and we're going to distribute the negative 2 in here. Okay, so I'm going to take this negative 2 and distribute that in. I just didn't want to write it again, so it's negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared. There's my new problem here. Okay, we're looking for things we can cancel. Okay, so Emmanuel, what's something I could cancel here? The 2x squared, a minus 2x squared and a positive 2x squared. What else, Susie? The 3x and the negative 3x. What else here, Selena? The 9s. When you get done canceling, you should have, everything that's left over should have an h in it. Okay? Everything left over should have an h in it. We have just canceled. Technically, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to plug in 0. Okay? Because that's what I'm finding the limit as h approaches 0. When I plug in 0, guess what happens? 0 over 0. So we factor, we cancel, we plug back in. What kind of factoring can I do on top? Factor out an h. So my limit as h approaches 0. I'm factoring an h out, so I'm left with negative 4x, because I'm taking an h out of that, minus 2h, because I'm taking an h out of that, plus 3h, I'm sorry, plus 3, because I'm taking an h out of that. All over h. We factored. Then what, Marcus? H's cancel out. We cancel, and then we plug back in. When I plug in 0 here, Aaron, what am I going to be left with? This 3 right here, but I'm plugging 0 in for what? For h. So when you plug in a 0 for h here, this goes away. I still got that negative 4x as well. Okay, so my m, my slope, that's what I just found. My slope equation is going to be negative 4x plus 3. A lot of work. That is the worst case scenario. I won't give you that such of annoying a problem again. That one's really annoying. The whole point was to find the slope at 1. So I just, now that I have this to find at x equals 1, we're plugging 1 into this equation. So my slope at x equals 1 is going to be negative 4 plus 3, which is negative 1. Here's the good news. That problem just took us probably, I don't know, we can look it up actually because I have the recorder going. 5 minutes. Literally next Thursday, we'll do that same problem in probably 12 seconds. And I'm not kidding. It's literally 12 seconds. So that's good. So if this is annoying to you, I know that it's going to be annoying. Figure it out for this chapter. We're learning the basics, and then we'll go back later on and we'll teach you a shortcut. And it's a whole lot easier. Questions there? Let's do the next one. So the next one is the second method for finding this slope. It looks like this. Use the limit as h approaches, or as x approaches c this time. Okay? So as I set this thing up, it says f of x. So Grace, what am I going to write for f of x? Yeah, no, you're Grace. What's your name? Yep, that equation there. Good. So we're finding, let me write this first. The limit as x approaches c. What's our c value going to be here? 3. The c that we're talking about is always, what are you trying to find the limit at? Okay, where are you trying to find the slope? We're trying to find the slope at 3. So now that we've set that up, we're writing f of x, which is this thing. So 2x squared minus 7x plus 1. Got that. Now there's a minus sign. Minus, what am I going to do, Jarrett, to find f of c? Plug into the equation. Yep, this is a 3 value right there. I'm going to plug that in. That'll find me f at c, because remember c is 3 here. To find f at 3, we're just plugging 3 in. So when I plug 3 in, I'm going to do it in my head. 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18. Minus 21 is negative 3, plus 1 is negative 2. Cool. Obviously, that might take longer than that, but that's not the goal here. So it's minus negative 2, because that's what my f of c is. What minus negative 2, what am I really putting? Plus 2 there. All over x. What am I plugging in for x? Nothing. It's just x. Minus c, and my c is going to be 3, because that's what my c value is. There's that. Okay, if I simplified that, which I can, the limit as x approaches 3, on top it's 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 over x minus 3. Okay, that's simplified. When I factor here, okay, guess what happens when I plug in 3? You get 0 over 0. So we don't want 0 over 0. So we need to take this equation, we need to factor, cancel, and plug back in. Okay? Factor, cancel, and plug back in. Uh-oh, I got to factor this thing, and it's got a 2 in front. What do I got to do if there's a 2 in front? I'm going to do borrow and pay back here. I'm taking that 2 and going there. So it is x squared minus 7x plus 6. I'm going to factor that thing. I need 2 numbers that multiply together to get me 6. Jalen, what's 2 numbers can get me 6 and get me negative 7? Good. Negative 6 and negative 1. Those 2 numbers multiply together to get 6, and they add together to get negative 7. Oh, that's... Oh, because I'm not done. Because what else do I need to do with that? Then divide by 2. Sorry. Divide by 2. So when I divide by 2, that gets me x minus 3 and x minus a half. Yeah, that's not normal, but that's fine. All over x minus 3. We factored. Berkeley, what do I do next? Cancel out the x minus 3s. And then once I've canceled out the x minus 3s, what else am I going to do? Plug back in. We're taking that 3 and plugging it back in. When I plug in a 3, what am I going to get for my final answer? There's my slope, 2.5. Yep. Yes. Yeah. It does. All right. It gives you the same answer, doesn't it? All right. Let me go back. Maybe I was trying to go too quickly. This works if I'm solving. Maybe if I'm solving, maybe I've just jumped the gun here. So let me try that again. So the 2 is here. Technically, we'd multiply by 2. I think it does give you a different answer. And so that you got to be careful with that. I just went brain. That's how we solve a factor. We just set it and go. But if I'm actually writing a factor, it'd be 2x minus 1. And then we would plug that 3 into that equation. So I do apologize for that. But it is 6 minus 1 to get you 5. That's the difference. And I just forgotten that it does matter there. But it does matter because you're multiplying that x value by 2. So it does change stuff a little bit. Everybody understand what I just did there? When we have this 2 and we're writing the factors, the 2 needs to go in front because it's technically factoring it and not solving it. I was doing it like I was solving it and not factoring. Good? It's weird. We're not going to do it a lot. Okay? It's not something we're going to do 80 times. We're going to do it once on this test and then move on from it. We'll talk about it later as we get close to the AP exam. It's never on the AP exam either. So that's the good news. The idea is on it, but they won't make you do the whole thing.